Tervist, PÖFF TV vaataja, mina Kristo ja kohe räägime ühest filmist, mis on PÖFFil linastumas. Tegemist on kurdi päritolu Saksa režissöörilt Hüseyin Tabakilt ja filmi nimi on GIPSY QUEEN ehk mustlaskuninganna. Ja räägib film ühest noorest emast, kes oma pere ülalpidamiseks hakkab tegelema ühe väga huvitava asjaga. Ja siitkohalt siis filmi treiler.
Dă-mi banii mei. Am căcat să stau.
Ce zici tu?
Ich könnte arbeiten gehen.
Amena, na cambeșează nici devri poți weekende.
Wir brauchen Geld, Maria.
Bist du Boxer? Wie viele Kämpfe?
6.
Alle gewonnen?
Ali, trebuie să mă duc.
Oastu topre!
Du hast die Straße im Blut, mir gefällt das. Du hast was drauf.
Auf, Mama. Da ist die Garstange. Nein, aber ganz nein!
Wo sind meine Kinder?
Ali, beruhige dich, bitte!
Ural, sarg paparuda e cam... Pusă în sarg biromii.
GIPSY QUEEN!
Mes eu chideam mândru studar.
So, Hüseyin, hello.
Hi.
Wonderful to have you here in Tallinn and especially in our studio also. And maybe just to open up you as a person, who is Hüseyin Tabak behind the film directing and all the movie business?
First of all, I'm really happy to be here in Tallinn. I heard a lot of this town, and actually I won a short film award here 12 years ago. I couldn't come, so therefore I'm more happy to be here. And actually, yeah, Hüseyin Tabak, I started with that short film. I won an award here at the Film Academy in Vienna. Before I was in a little town in Germany. It's really a little town. And my parents are from Turkey, Kurdish. And you know, in our town it was very far away to be a filmmaker. But for myself, I always loved to tell stories. When I was going to the school, I was telling stories to myself very loud. And when I noticed I come closer to the school, but I'm not done yet, I was going slower so I can finish it. So I loved always tell stories, and there was after high school, there was a time when you think about yourself, what gonna to do, and then I found screenplay writer. It interested me a lot, and then there I made the turn to filmmaker, so director and film and writer. So yeah, then I started to work at film sets in Hamburg. I done, I think, between 2003 and 2006, 20 long feature on the set working, and applied to film schools, and then I got taken at the Film Academy Vienna in 2006.
All right, that's what I wanted to ask next. I know that you started off with filmmaking already in your early youth, just playing around with your camera and like filming your friends. But I think there's very different paths where you can take from this. You could turn out as a DOP or a set designer. What turned you into a film director?
I think I was more interested not using the camera, but having the stories on the camera. I wasn't never like a technician who was looking for the new cameras coming out. It wasn't that important for me. For me, it was more important to have the emotions on the camera. So there was already, I don't know, it was always directly to the people and not to the technical things. And yes, I have 200 hours of footage of my childhood and the youthhood of my friends. And once I edited 7 minutes and showed my friends. I wasn't in film before. And when I saw their reactions, their emotions, then I knew I can touch people with film. So that was actually the reason I wanted to do it.
All right. But example, personally, if I started thinking about the books or the films that I enjoy the most, then I don't look for them. They somehow find their own way to me. How does your stories find you, or how's the connection with the stories? Do you?
I try always to find the human side of the character. Even if the character evil or good, mother, father, it doesn't matter. I try to, when I write them myself, especially, I try to have them in a, the audience to respect him and understand. Because myself, I'm Kurdish, and belong to the minority. I'm always interested in people who are not shown so much in film. So I have an addiction to people who are like, I don't know, not so often on the big screen. And maybe that's one of the reasons I made a film about a Roma woman in GIPSY QUEEN. And that's what I like a lot, to give people a voice who don't have a voice so much.
That's great. And thinking about your Kurdish roots and the mixture with the German society, do you see yourself as somehow like a bridge builder between these two very different cultures?
Yes, if you have, maybe that's one of the advantages when you mix in your culture. You can understand both sides. I'm on one side, I'm raised up with German culture and German school, German teachers, German football coach. But on the other side, you have at home Kurdish, Turkish music, the foods, and the way, your mother hugs you is different than when a German mother hugs her child, and that's the nice part when you can mix it and understand more. And of course, you kind of in our times where the voices of people are getting higher, talking about against multicultural people. I think we need to make bridges. Like especially my movie GIPSY QUEEN, it's about the mother, and actually doesn't change if it's a Roma or German, or it could be Estonian. The story would be the same. It's about a mother fighting for her children, and I think every mother would fight for the children. Every mother gets to a lion when it's about the life of the children. So.
And Ali is all about fighting, literally. So very, very nice. But just to touch the point of this Kurdish roots just a bit more. How do you approach the situation altogether? Like in the future, do you see yourself telling stories more about the Kurdish people, maybe the history of them, or the future even?
Of course. Well, like I said before, my first short film was a Kurdish family, which won an award here in 2008. And there's always some Kurdish elements in my movies, even in GIPSY QUEEN. I have a lot of pictures, which was one from my favorite Kurdish director, Yilmaz Güney. He influenced me a lot. But I have other projects coming up, which are like with Kurdish people. But same time, of course, I have with my German all-day life in Germany. I have German themes too. So, like I like to put some of my heritage in the movies, and there will be movies what's only about that culture. But it's always different than when I make a movie about Kurdish people. When a Kurdish director makes a movie who lives in Kurdistan or Turkey, my view will always the view from the European Kurdish. it's different.
But I think it's a very good perspective to give. It's you can open it up a little bit for ourselves, just from a view from a guy who has the knowledge about the culture and everything of it. Yeah, and I think Gypsy Queen is a really good example how to have this mixture of German and people from other countries, and how they find themselves and the stories between them. So
yes,
I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. Thank you for your honesty. I was I was really looking forward to this part about your history and family side of it. Very nice. About a bit more about the filmmaking itself. As a director, I want to ask you, how much do you trust your co-creatives? For example, maybe set designers or DOPs. How much do you dictate on the set how the film should look like, and how much freedom do you give there?
Well, for me, the preparation time is the most important time of the filmmaking, because it's a time where you give your mind to the other people. So they are allowed to ask me thousands of questions. I work a lot, 20 hours, I don't care. But when you shoot, my time is only for the actors. So then they have freedom, and I hope they're so much prepared, they don't have so many questions anymore. So that's always my goal, to go to the shooting with everyone knows what to do. So I have my time with my actors, because they're the most important for me. On the set, I don't even talk with my DOP a lot. I talk about everything, you know, in the preparation. But then it's very important to go to the shooting without questions about, I don't know what color is the table or things like. So I can concentrate on me and myself, to the actors.
Very nice. I think it shows from the films that there's a very personal touch with actors and the characters that they're playing. So yeah, I enjoyed it. What makes a good film director in your head? What is the this most important thing that you would name?
I think it's very, you know, it's like flowers. There are flowers who smell bad and smell good, but for the others, the flowers who smell bad is really nice. So I think, or I don't know, they're like, can hurt you or not, still they're nice, you know. I think the directors are like that. There are so many different. There are like directors who are like a dictator on set, but they make really good movies. And people still work with them. And there are democratic directors who doesn't say any word even to the actors. I think I'm somewhere in the middle, because I like to lead the set, and I try to lead with energy and happiness. So I'm always on the set because I know everyone is looking at me, and if they feel my energy, they will have an energy too. And if I'm in set like this and I don't want to do it, and then, you know, oh, come on, I don't want to, you know. If I am like always like driven with energy, I know it's going to them over. So I try to be a leader on the set, and still they have their freedom and their own things to do, you know, and their own art. But I think it's very important, because all the eyes go to the director after every take. All the eyes. Suck on you, and you have to have the spirit always. That's the most important for me, to have the energy. And of course, I pick my teams where I think they are the most, they're the ones who can do, I don't know, art design, DOP or something like that. So I have a trust. And yes, I think another thing I learned from my professor, I studied at Michael Haneke, is to pick the right actors for the right roles. If you have done this, then nothing can go wrong.
I've heard from some of your previous interviews saying you've been telling very good things about your film school in Hamburg, and especially this professor that you mentioned. Is it something to follow for young directors in your mind So
film schools. Well, I think it's always different. I know directors who wasn't on film schools, so most are film schools. I would say go to film schools, because you get the connections, you get the technique stuff, you get other young people like writers or editors or camera operators. So I think it's a nice melting point to learn and to try to experiment some things. But there's other ways too to make movies. Directors don't have to be always over the film school, but it's maybe the most safe way if you really want to make movies. The other way it's harder. Without film school, it's a lot harder.
And maybe it's a bit more simple way to find this energy that you mentioned to connect with the people that you're going to work with in the future. Yes. But a little bit just to push on something personal maybe. You know, people have this wishful thinking that we can learn from each other's mistakes, even though we don't know anybody who does that, probably. But can you point out a mistake in your career, a mistake that you wouldn't avoid, where maybe, let's say, where the lesson was bigger than the suffering? I know it's a difficult one.
Well, it's a very difficult question. It's a nice question, especially in every film you try. You have to think like a film like this, shooting a film. There's a project. There are guaranteed 1,000 failures, mistakes, and you try to minimize those mistakes. So you get at the end maybe only 50 or 100, you know. So every day you can make, I don't know, tons of mistakes. So there are little mistakes a lot, but you know, maybe it's. I think even the mistakes are part of learning. Especially I did like a documentary for 7 years. It was for me a hard time. It have been good years where I could have made more movies than one. But I really wanted to do that, and I learned a lot. So I think the outcome of making that movie is more bigger than if you look at the first time and say, okay, he did only one movie in 7 years. But you know, now the movies are coming, like Gypsy Queen is a lot influenced by this documentary, you know. So I think people in art positions have to make mistakes so they can learn. If you don't learn, it's something different, you know.
Then it's just suffering,
yes,
not the lesson.
Yes, especially.
Yeah. I was going through your previous work, and I noticed one name that followed through all the movies, or at least I counted 5, I think. The film music that you have, and Judith Varga.
Yeah.
It seems that for you it's quite important. Of course, it's always important what kind of music you have in your film. But what made you stick with Judith?
I learned Judith in film school. She was studying too. She was a student. I was looking for someone to compose, and I tried to make film. I started to make a film because I loved film music. So it was always a desire of mine. But I'm not a musician. I don't know any instrument, nothing, you know. So I need someone to trust. And Judith made my first short film with music. And I really loved it, and since then, you know, I trust her a lot. If she's like, my musician love, she follows me in every project. I take her. It's always when people come to me asking for a project, I say, okay, DOP and music from me. Other we can talk about, you know. So because it's such a creative position in film, to make something from zero.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That
you have to have trust and not start fighting, you know, and arguing and talking and stuff. So, for me, Judith is very, very, very important for my films.
Yeah, I kind of sensed it. It was just. I think you've given her quite a difficult task, talking about your films and how you kind of bring these cultures together and everything. But for a musician, it's quite a challenge also. So
yeah, lucky part is she's Hungarian and worked and living now in Austria. So she's like between cultures too. And she's very open to new instruments and sounds, so that makes the work with her very nice.
Because it definitely sticks out from Gypsy Queen also. But your film, I think it was from 2012 about the young kids.
Yeah, Your Beauteous Worth Nothing.
Yes, yeah. Yes. Already from the trailer, it sticked out the music, and I had to check out the film also, and I loved it. It was a great story. And yeah, super great film. So definitely, if people are looking for your previous work, I would recommend it. So really great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I think you're gonna stay here for a few days. About the films, do you have something special in mind that you would like to go to see in the theaters, or maybe do you have some big idols here that you would like to meet?
Yeah, well, it's very nice time to watch movies in theaters. In our times, you watch too much about laptops. So I'm staying here 6 or 7 days, I think. I will stay here, and I'm looking forward for South American movies a little bit. I love them because they're very close to Kurdish culture. And emotions, and I already met a Mexican director, which we had a nice chat. So it's so nice to make connections to other filmmakers. So I'm looking forward for that.
Great, but thank you, Hüseyin.
Thank you very
having
much.
you here. Yes,
Thank you.
and
Nice
we'll see you around. All right. Enjoy the festival.
Thank you.
Niisiis, vaatajad, oli siis väike usutlus siin meie ühe režissööridega, Hüseyin Tabakiga, ja soovitan kindlasti minna vaatama tema filmi GIPSY QUEEN, mis räägib siis ühest noorest emast, kes hakkama saamaks oma 2 lapse ja nende ülalpidamisega hakkab Saksamaal poksija karjääri jälitama, ja kindlasti väga kihvt film, mida vaatama minna.